Hello, I'm Mota Prometheus One, and welcome to episode 2 of We Swear We're Not Disney, where I look at films that try to cash in on the success of popular Disney films. On the last episode, we looked at a film called The Little Mermaid, with terrible dialogue, awkward animation, and the worst pacing ever put to film. In this episode, we're going to be looking at a film with terrible dialogue, awkward animation, and pacing that's just kind of standard. Alice in Wonderland. The second of Guy M's Disney ripoffs, Alice in Wonderland takes whatever you liked about the Disney film and does the exact opposite. Where the original had beautiful animation, this has kindergarten drawings. Where the original had wonderful music, this has songs that make you feel like there's a steak knife in your ear. There's absolutely nothing good about this film, and I have to say this is probably one of the worst of the Guy M Disney ripoffs, and that's saying a lot. Now I know Disney wasn't the first to do this story and that it was actually based on a book, and therefore I'm going to try as hard as possible today to look at this film as its own thing, and judge it on its own extreme lack of merits. This is Alice in Wonderland. We open with yet another terrible song as we meet Alice, who's introduced to us by narration that's, honestly, kind of creepy.
Alice was tired of having nothing to do, while her sister was busy reading a book that didn't have any pictures in it.
Ugh. She sees a clothed rabbit who claims he's late, and she decides to follow it into his hole. Ugh.
Oh, I must be getting near the center of the earth. At least to Australia. Poor Dinah. She'll miss me so very much. I do hope someone remembers her saucer of milk.
Yeah, if I were falling down a bottomless pit, I'd say something like, what about that potato chip I was gonna eat? Now Dave might eat it. You know, instead of something stupid and illogical like, ah! She gets to the bottom and finds a small door and is saddened to see that she's too small to get through it. So, like a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious stupid head, she drinks the first bottle of random liquid she sees, using the most mind-blowing logic you'll hear in a long time.
Let's see. What was it that Mother said? Oh, yes. Don't drink anything that's poison. But it isn't marked poison.
I'm impressed. That's actually really clever logic if you think about it. I mean, just look at this. It's not marked poison. The drink makes her shrink, she finds a cake that makes her big, and her tears flood the room. The water carries her up to a beach where she, out of nowhere, decides to have a race with a bunch of animals. This leads to probably the worst song out of all the Guy M Disney ripoffs, and I mean the worst.
The race is on, so go, go, go. Who cares who win or place or show? See Alice run, she's making time, but she can't find the finish line. Run, Alice, run, go, Alice, go. Where is she going? She doesn't know.
Not only does this song go on forever, but they just reuse the same shots over and over and over again. I got an idea. If you can't animate enough footage for a whole song, don't do a song. After that musical abomination, she finds the rabbit's house, and like an idiot, she drinks a random liquid again. And what do you know, it makes her so large she almost busts out of the house. The rabbit finds her and actually tries to burn down the house with her inside. My goodness, what do people here do to you when your dog poops in their yard? Waterboard you? But she finds one of those shrinking cakes just in time and gets out of the house before it burns to the ground. She finds a caterpillar who makes her neck super long, and she encounters a terrified mother bird and her eggs.
I'm just a little girl who wants to go home.
Wait a minute. What did she just say?
I'm just a little girl who wants to go home.
Alice is supposed to be, in this movie, a little girl. Is that why she's voiced by an obvious 20-year-old? We get our obligatory Cheshire Cat scene and then move on to our obligatory Mad Hatter scene. But don't worry, this one's not super annoying. He's ungodly annoying.
You might just as well say that I see what I eat is the same as I eat what I see, or that I like what I get is the same as I get what I like, but it's not!
They then decide to play a game where they draw things starting with the letter M.
We'll draw things that begin with the letter M.
The letter M?
Like mousetrap.
M is for mousetrap, which catches the mouse.
What in tarnation?
M is for mammoth, big as a house.
When did I put in Grade A Under A's remake of Sesame Street? After that violation of your preschool memories, she comes upon the Queen, who wants to behead her for not knowing the answer to a question she asks.
Consider, my dear, she is only a child.
No, she's not! Listen to her voice! She could be 2 years above me in college! The Queen challenges her to a croquet match, and she accepts. They do that thing from the book where they use flamingos instead of mallets, and she finds her bird isn't cooperating.
This is the strangest game I've ever seen. Hold still. Oh dear.
What was that? Does she have one of those conditions that causes people to randomly laugh? Or does she just have a really, really, really gullible sense of humor? Batman the Killing Joke. It's Batman the Killing Joke. This isn't a clue or anything to the next episode of In Defense Of. It's not. It's just a movie that I decided to put in the video, just as an example. The Queen's candy goes missing, and Alice goes on trial to defend the soldier accused. When she does, she suddenly becomes huge again, with no explanation at all. The soldiers attack her, and she suddenly wakes up in the real world, with no explanation at all. Huh?
Once inside, Alice told her sister about her curious adventure in Wonderland. As she did, Ada thought about how silly Alice was to be telling such tales, and had to smile to herself when she thought of the wild imaginations that children have.
So, was it a dream? Or was it real, but she's pretending it's a dream? Or is this just the movie trying to piss us off by going, "It's up to your interpretation"? This movie sucks! Anything creative or clever in this movie comes from the book. Anything the movie itself gives us is just connect-the-dots storytelling. It knows what characters it's supposed to have, and it knows what scenes it's supposed to do, but it has no understanding of why those characters were in the book or the film in the first place. The book and its Disney counterpart were clever allegories of the hypocrisy of royalty and the upper class during the author's time, using the insanity and absolute nonsense of Wonderland to convey how out of touch the wealthy were with reality. Everything in the story is a clever symbol that deserves to be studied for its historical context and its artistic creativity. This film, however, is just poorly written dialogue, terrible voice acting, animation so bad the characters barely move at all, and a knowledge of what it's supposed to have, but no knowledge of why or how to properly do it. It's a bad adaptation of a creative book, and it's a bad ripoff of a creative film. I'm Ulta Prometheus 1, and I'll see you next time on a new episode of In Defense of Blank. No, she's not! Look at her! She could be like 2 years above me in high school! Oh, in high school. Graduating in 5 weeks.